right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, December the 17th, 2 days away, or should I say 1 day away until my dentist appointment. T-minus 8 till Christmas. This is Mornings with Marcel and Friends. I am so sorry about this week because of my keyboard. The laptop keyboard is trying to EQW all over the place, and it didn't work as well. So I just spoke to my brother this past week about this for perfect way to type on the mouse pad or even this as well. Just scroll right there, everything in between. If not, my uncle wanted to tell you, or should I say, or tells me and my brother to have the new laptop, earplugs, or should I say earbuds or headphones, and even a tablet for Christmas. And even some nice We Only Love Family clothes as well, too. So fingers crossed. We're having the Christmas Eve. We're heading to Jersey from next Tuesday or so. Next Tuesday. So get ready. I hope you're all having a great morning. It's a better way to start. And this virtual background of my city skyline of the sunrise as well here this morning. It's going to be beautiful, isn't it? All right. Let's start today's Mornings with Marcel and Friends with the preamble. We got it coming up for you. First of the day, the word of the day as well. And then stick around to see what is your chance to have the word of the day. And by the way, before we go any further, my thoughts and prayers goes out to Madison, Wisconsin during yesterday's Christian school shooting is at the Abundant Life Christian school campus on Wisconsin's capital city of Madison. It is so heartful, and it's so pray for that as well. So I hope you all pray for the families as well. We got Wisconsin school shooting, Moscow explosion, Trump transition, the ban on TikTok, and the holiday weather. So the FBI has received around 5,000 tips over the last few weeks regarding drones and is still investigating about 100 of them. As well, conspiracy theories spread about the drones' origins. The White House says most of the reported sightings are actually lawfully operated aircraft or even stars. So here now the news you need straight from the top to get you up to speed and on with your day. And my podcast, episode 491, of the morning news headlines is out now. Let's start in Madison, Wisconsin. The city was reeling after a school shooting yesterday killed one student and one teacher, along with injured several others. The shooter, identified by police as a 15-year-old female student, died of a self-inflicted gunshot after the attack at Abundant Life Christian School. Survivors of the shooting, some as young as 7 and 8-year-olds, recalled screaming in the hallways of the school, saying they were really scared and sad. It remains unclear why the suspect pulled out a handgun and opened fire at her peers from the police. The shooting in the state of Wisconsin was the 83rd school shooting record of this year, surpassing last year of 2023 for the most school shootings in a single year since began tracking such incidents back in the financial crisis year of 2008 by CNN and others, including the National Gun Archive and the NRA. Hate that, the National Rifle Association. Guns are not for safety. And let me clear, before we get back to the 5 things, I got to tell you, for all of you, guns are not safety. Don't shoot people. It's the crime, and it's definitely the law. Now let's get to Russia, where a top Russian general accused of using chemical weapons on the battlefields in Ukraine was killed after a bomb went off in Moscow early. Russian investigators said Lieutenant General Igor Kololev, who headed Russia's nuclear, biological, and chemical protection forces, is the most senior military official known to be killed since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine back 2 years ago of February. Ukraine's security services were behind the assassination, a source told CNN and others, calling Kololev a war criminal and an absolutely legitimate target. The blast came a day after Ukrainian prosecutors sentencing him in Accepta for Russia's use of banned chemical weapons during its invasion. I will tell you more about the latest on the school shooting yesterday in Wisconsin in my preamble coming up. In wide-ranging remarks yesterday, President-elect Trump downplayed concerns that his administration would revoke the polio vaccine's authorization, suggested he could pardon New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and said he will press Ukraine and Russia to end the war. He described himself as a big believer in a polio vaccine and said that Americans won't lose it amid concerns that his pick to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., could seek to revoke its approval. Also on yesterday, Judge Juan Merchant ruled Trump does not have presidential immunity protections in the New York hush money case. His transition spokesman called Merchant's decision a direct violation of the Supreme Court's decision on immunity and other long-standing jurisprudence, end quote. Now to TikTok, where Trump met with CEO Shou Chew at his Mar-a-Lago club yesterday, hours after the president-elect suggested he might reverse course on the impending ban on the social media app here in the States. According to Trump, and says, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with it, end quote. Trump lost to 18 and 29-year-old voters to President Harris by 11, according to the exit polls by CNN. Nonetheless, the platform could be banned in the U.S. on January 19, 2025, right before the inauguration, unless it can convince Chinese parent company ByteDance to sell it to a new Chinese owner or none. Attorneys for TikTok are now asking the Supreme Court to temporarily block the ban. And of course, you can find me on TikTok at MarcelMyrick527. Let's head to the weather front for you right now. Early forecasts indicated temperatures could max up around 10 to 15 degrees above normal for much of the states on Christmas Day. It's a forecast reminiscent of last Christmas for many, which came amid the warmest winter on the record in the country. Unseasonably warm conditions will dominate the western half of the states, including Alaska and Hawaii, while the eastern region will likely see some wet weather, according to the Climate Prediction Center, or CPC. Even though it could be cold in the east, it's also expected to be much drier than normal from the weekend through the holiday, meaning potentially less snow. Meteorologists said at least 1 inch of snow needs to be on the ground on the 25th day of December for it to count as a white Christmas. Can't wait for snow. All right, my friends, that is your Monday, or should I say Tuesday's 5 things. As we go to breakfast browse now, woman who stole away on Delta flights to Paris apprehended again. Support grows for a 4-day school week. China extends visa-free transit policy. London approves plan for joint tallest tower in Western Europe. And Devondre Campbell suspended by the 49ers. 7.3, that's the Mornings with Marcel and Friends today's number, and the magnitude of the powerful earthquake that struck the Pacific nation of Vanuatu today. The quake sparked a network outage, crews crushed vehicles, and damaged multiple buildings, including one that houses the U.S. and Western embassies, the others. And the Mornings with Marcel and Friends quote, including Kissel from the University of Vermont soccer team after the school earned its first ever NCAA Division I national championship in the team sport yesterday, beating Marshall 2-1. There is no Cinderella or underdog, not luck. It's will, it's skill, and talent. All right, that is your 5 things. Back next Tuesday for more. And don't forget, my podcast is available now for episode 491, episode 492, T-minus 8 to episode 500 from tomorrow. That was the Mutual News sounder back from the past. Let's have a break now. I'll be back in 1 minute for the verse of the day.
There's a feeling in the air that you can't get anywhere except the Quad Cities. And no matter where we go, the best people that we know are in the Quad Cities.
Okay, that's awkward, huh? Because of my laptop, huh? Let's try this again.
There's a feeling in the air that you can't get anywhere except the Quad Cities. And no matter where we go, the best people that we know are in the Quad Cities. Where people show they care, TV6 is always there, standing by your side. From where the rivers flow to the hometowns we know, friends and neighbors building ties, making a difference where we go. KWQC says hello, hello Iowa, hello Illinois. TV6 cares for you.
All right, time for the verse of the day. Guess what today's verse of the day is? Amen indeed. All right, 15 away till the top of the hour. Once again, today's verse of the day is from Romans 12 with the verses of 17 and 18. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everybody. If it's possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with anyone. And I will copy it as always on my socials. All right. Let's go straight forward from what could this happen in yesterday in Madison, Wisconsin, where the shooting took place at the Abstinent Life, Abundant Life Christian School. So here's what we know so far, and I have this preamble on that. There were 6 people were injured, including 2 who have life-threatening injuries, according to the police. The shooter was also a dad, as the 15-year-old female. I do understand what the name of the 15-year-old who has shot and killed. The name of the authorities is Natalie Rupnow. She opened fire with a handgun inside the school, killing 2 people, including and injured another 6, before killing herself. This preamble is going to break everyone's hearts, including the city of Madison, out Wisconsin. It's very shocking, and it's going to be very hurting for sure. And what a surprise. It could be a very heartbreak day for the people of the state of Wisconsin. So let's take a listen to the colleagues at Fox 6 to tell us more, all things about it. All right. So here's what we know so far. It was the shooting that shocked Madison for sure, due to the recent tragic events that will be happening this time. And so it was Natalie Rupnow, who was a student. She was a 15-year-old female shooter who went Samantha on socials and was a student from the school, was identified as a shooter during the briefing taking place at 8:30 Eastern, 8:30 local time last night. That will be 9:30 here in the East, 6:30 in the West. So it was happened at the study hall with students in different grades from Madison Police. First, it was a second grader called 911 at the top of the hour. That will be 11 a.m. Almost till noon here in the East to report the shooting. While at 11 a.m., noon in the East, a deputy in Dane County, Wisconsin, was the first to arrive at the scene. Officers alerted people to the shooter was down and recovered at the gun at 5 past the hour. Same at the time zone. The Madison Fire Department was dispatched and arrived at the scene at 13 past the hour. The first incident report was sent out by the City of Madison Police Department. The officers began to clear it at 14 past the hour. 23 past. Bomb dogs were brought in to clear the facility. And almost so 11:34 minutes, that will be 11:26, treated victims began to transport it to hospitals. So this afternoon, 1 local time, 2 here in the East, 11 in the West. The next briefing is set to schedule. Also at 6:39 p.m. local time, 7:39 on the East Coast. The SM Health updated it treated 4 injured patients. 2 has been discharged and are in stable condition and will be allowed for no access at the K-12 school taking place, as posted by the police department's Facebook page. So I'm going to go to the Facebook page right now to say about the latest on the shooting and then under some of the preamble to all of you. Wait to set to my laptop is definitely out of his way from the frozen side of life. So here it is. There will be no access to Abundant Life Christian School. They've been told there are potential virtuals in the work for the outside of the school from this evening. And this time, no one is being allowed onto school grounds before the law enforcement. And all of the social media are buzzing about it. Let's get this clear. When you think about shootings at the bars, at the grocery stores, at the schools, everything, etc., it has to stop. And it has to stop right now. Those school shootings is not enough. The truth is, it has to stop all this alone. And by now, these shootings for killing people is a hard to ask that you want to share about or not. It's hurting, it's sad, and it's going to make things killed here in the States and around the world. But for the city of Madison, the heinous shooting took place at the Bond and Life Christian School. It's a virtual heartbreak for now. And my heart hurts. My head hurts. My teeth hurts. Everywhere because of the shootings. Bow, bow, bow. Guns are not allowed. Guns are not for safe. It will not protect people like this. You had to stop. You had to stop about the shootings. At the schools, at the grocery stores, at the bars, at the business sites, everything. And when you think about shootings, it has to say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. All right. I'm going to read some of the numbers representing by the Gun Violence Archived. And this year alone, because of the state of Wisconsin is set to taking place, I got to tell you, they're going to be 83rd. So the mass shootings is now 488, 29 for mass murders, almost to 30. Injured are 520, killed at 236, 3,108. That's 1118 for killed. Injured 315, killed 70. Injured 770, killed 1378. So the defense use are 1,168. Unintentional shooting is 1,362. And murder-suicide incidents, it will be 642. So, that's what the Gun Violence Archive is. And let's see what the latest on the Atlas of the Gun Violence, 10 years, that shocked the country. I had to say because of Washington and many others. What a shame. Tell Washington to stop shootings now, or else more shootings will go right before the holidays. And by that, it could cost the law. He has to stop. All right. I gotta tell you, the preamble has come to an end, and let's see what the futures are set to taking place. Oh, get ready for the be panic, folks. The futures are still in the red arrows. They're fall 100, but now in the 200 mark. And what a shame. That was the longest losing streak since 2018. So they fell. Futures tied at 218 or 4%. The dip, 25% or nearly 111. The NASDAQ futures ticket down at 2%, while the S&P 500 futures edge down 3%. It's not the way to start the business day. And what a shame it is. But on Wall Street yesterday, the Dow and S&P are in the red, but the Dow is in the red, but NASDAQ and S&P are always in the green arrows. And now, let's go straight forward, my friends, to wrap up today's Mornings with Marcel and Friends program. The word of the day. Yes, the word of the day, folks. What's today's word of the day? Lexical is the word of the day. And to describe something as lexical is to say that it is related to words or vocabulary. For assistance in lexical, a dictionary provides lexical information. It tells you or me and everyone else what the word cat means. Not all there is to know about cats, and cats is the animal. So lexical is Lexical. All right. I really hope you enjoyed today's Mornings with Marcel and Friends as we approach to the top of the hour. It is time for me to say goodbye, and I will see you back here next Tuesday.